Hi creative friends, I'm Sonia from Sustain My Craft Habit. I'm going to show you how we upcycled 3 things we had around the house using pretty felt flowers. Felt flowers are really popular these days, and for the last year and a half we've been designing new felt designs. We're really excited to be able to share with you 3 creative ways of using those felt flowers. And in this particular case, we are using materials that we had at home that we could upcycle and reuse. Let us know in the comments below which one of these 3 projects are your favorite. So let's get started. For this project, I'm going to upcycle this sign that I found in my mom's garage. It had a 75-cent sticker on it. She picked it up at a local thrift store. Originally came from a dollar store. And I don't need anything that says kitchen rules, but I'm going to make it look really pretty with some felt flowers.
For the sign, I really wanted to have a dark background upon which the flowers would be nice and bright and pop, and the home sweet home decal to be a bright white. So I'm using one of my favorite dark chalky finish paints. It's called Relic by Decor, and it just gives a really nice dark yet matte finish. I just painted the front and made sure to get all the sides. One coat provided really good coverage. And then once the paint was completely dry, I just took some sandpaper and gave it a light distressing on the front and on the edges, just for a little bit of texture and that kind of farmhouse look. To make the Home Sweet Home decal, I used the Cricut Joy and white permanent vinyl to cut out the design. It's an SVG file that we have available at sustainmycrafthabit.com, which you can download. If you have a steady hand, you can also maybe paint or hand letter the Home Sweet Home directly onto the sign. But I just used here the white vinyl, and this is showing the transfer tape takes the sign itself, the decal, and using that to transfer it onto the painted wood sign. Once I'm happy with the placement, I pushed down the vinyl decal so that it would stick onto the sign and then pulled back the transfer tape. You can use either a permanent or a removable vinyl if you want to later change up the saying for a different saying or even a pretty picture, or just to add even more flowers. With the decal in place, it's time to add all the felt flowers. So we had pre-cut and pre-made these flowers, the patterns for which are available in our Etsy shop. And then just to make sure I was happy with the placement, I practiced putting them onto the wood sign. Putting some of the bigger ones towards the center, alternating the colors and textures, and then finally adding some of the green leaves until I was happy with the placement. And once I was happy with the placement, I just took my hot glue gun and glued everything in place so that they wouldn't move. I just love all these colors of this felt with the peaches and pinks and apricot shades. Is perfect for spring and summer.
For this project, I'm going to use this old terracotta pot that has this long crack in it, and I can't really use it to plant actual flowers. So instead I'm going to give it a coat of paint and then assemble these pretty felt pansies inside.
To paint the terracotta pot, I again used Deco Art's chalky finish paint in white. They call it Everlasting, and it's one of our favorite white paints because it gives a nice matte finish and great coverage.
So now that it's painted, I am going to start to assemble the felt flowers inside. So I have the styrofoam ball. I'm just going to place it inside like that. And then I'm going to glue the leaves down first, kind of all around. And then once that's done, I'm going to start gluing the pansies on top.
The nice thing about this project is that there's really no right or wrong in terms of the placement. You can use as much greens or as little greens as you'd like. And even the pansies, you can put fewer of them. These are also from our patterns in our Etsy shop. And I love this non-traditional color combination with the blues and apricot and peach, but you could also do violet and more traditional pinks. To add a little bit more height and dimension to the arrangement, we simply snipped a little bit of floral wire, created a loop, and then glued that to the bottom of some of the flowers to make them like picks to stick into the styrofoam ball. Wouldn't this make a really lovely gift idea for Mother's Day or for a friend who's just feeling a little bit down? Finally, we have this farmhouse-inspired photo display or memo board. This display started with a solid wood photo frame that we found at the thrift store and just knew that we would want to use it for something. I started by giving the frame a coat of paint using the same chalky finish, white or everlasting paint in the previous project. Because it is solid wood, we were able to add on this chicken wire to the back, which is what really gives it that fun and trendy farmhouse touch. So you just have to be careful when you're cutting the chicken wire. We just measured it and cut it to size to fit on the back of the frame, and then stapled it in place using a heavy-duty stapler. For this project, we used our more summer-themed felt flower pattern, which includes poppies and cone flowers and daisies in a really vibrant color with purples, fuchsia, and yellow and white. Again, as with the previous projects, I started by placing the flowers just to test the placement and make sure that I really liked where everything sat. And then once I was happy with the placement, including all the leaves, I took my handy hot glue gun and glued it all in place. It actually helped with the arrangement to glue the leaves onto the flowers first, and then glue both of those together onto the photo frame. While we went with these beautiful vivid colors for this particular project, really any of the flower patterns would work nicely, even those colorful pansies or the more muted spring themed flowers would work really well. We also have succulent patterns in our Etsy shop too, which would also make a nice touch to this display. This display would make a really thoughtful gift idea. It looks so professional, and anybody would be happy to receive it.
We hope you found this video inspiring. We were very excited to be able to put our pretty felt flowers to use with these potted pansies and our home sweet home sign and the photo display as well. We'll include links to the felt flower patterns below so you can check those out. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.